Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things going on in the world of professional wrestling. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling. I'm your host, Reach for the Sky Boy, Josh Briscoe, and joining me is my tag team partner, Speedball Dawn Bailey. We're
Yay.
breaking down AEW Collision. Let's get into it.
Fast as fluff, boy.
Fast as fluff. You gotta love it. And let's just see here. I believe this episode was brought to us out of Tucson, Arizona. And what did you think of that crowd? Like, I seem to recall there was one point where Shivani was saying they're chanting something, and we were listening, and we're like, no, they're not. Or your
Yeah,
audio ain't catching it. One of the two.
I didn't hear them chanting anything, but they did chant a lot throughout the night, but not at that particular point that Shivani mentioned hearing chanting.
Yeah.
I think it's the special people in his brain.
And
His
those
special
people
friend.
are named T, H, and C. As
Nigel McGuinness, ladies and gentlemen.
as Nigel pointed out, you can't spell healthcare without THC. Nice.
Yeah. The man's wise.
Well, on the subject of those who indulge in THC, the first match of the night, which we get right into, is the AEW World Tag Team Championship match featuring the challengers, the Rascals, versus FTR, with, of course, Big Stoke. Man, somebody has got to kick Big Stoke like completely out of the wheelchair forever. Like, I'm tired of seeing him come out in that damn wheelchair. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm just tired of him.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on this match?
Well, I okay. So this one didn't have uh as high of stakes as it I mean it could have, because I honestly did not see the Rascals winning this before FTR has their match with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's the match where if the belts change hands, that'll be it. Um So with that in mind, and I kind of think AEW figured most of their fans, the hardcore ones, or at least the hardcore wrestling fans, would kind of know that the belts weren't moving. So instead, they gave us just a fantastic match with some crazy moments in there where, even though I knew the belts were most likely not changing hands that night, I was still like, there were moments where I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Are they changing hands tonight? Because it got close a lot of times in this match.
Really close.
And
Really a lot of near falls.
yeah, I am now a really big fan of the Rascals. They are pretty neat. Yeah, that's my new word. Pretty
Yeah,
neat.
no, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, they've been nothing but impressive since coming to AEW. AEW had a lot of faith in them, and I can see why. I think I think it was well placed. So yeah, this was a fantastic opener.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It was an excellent match and one more showing for the Rascals to really show that they belong where the best wrestle. As high
Yeah,
flyers go, they are pretty phenomenal. And there were some combination moves like strike combos into other moves that were happening during this match between both Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz versus most often versus Dax Harwood, who gave it back to him, and I mean it was just impressive, and that's on top of the high flying craziness that certainly Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz are capable of. I feel like we've seen them the most over the third member whose name
Yeah.
hasn't stuck in my mind yet, unfortunately, because again, we've seen Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier far more often. Um, Desmond Xavier, I was familiar with at least a little bit, like tangentially, because he was in NXT, and I had never heard of Zachary Wentz. But now I'm a believer in these two gentlemen. They freaking bring it in that ring. Very, very good showing, and FTR was as solid as you would expect from the tag team champions.
Yeah.
Although I will give some nice credit. I believe it was Dax Harwood to Zachary Wentz. Dax gave Zachary Wentz like this massive avalanche back suplex, and those always look dangerous. Like it could tip and the guy could go right on his neck, but this was perfect and it just looked fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and a very excellent way to open the show. Lots of high octane, big move, big flying move action to start the tempo for Collision. Really good.
Yep. Yep.
And surprisingly, no shenanigans. Like FTR ends up winning the match after a ton of near falls. FTR is able to isolate, I want to say, Wentz and hit him with Shatter Machine, and that got them the 3 count and the retain. And there was no post match beatdowns or anything. Although, as FTR were making their exit, they ran into Mark Briscoe, who was entering to do guest commentary for the next match. However, before we get there, we're taken to the back where Katsuyori Shibata is filming Hook and they're still doing their recruitment drive backstage. And Anthony Bowens comes up to him and he says, "Look, I've been thinking about what you said, and yeah, I think I can be a killer." And Hook's like, "Oh, yeah? You think you can? All right, take that camera from Shibata and follow me." And Anthony Bowens is like, "Oh, okay." And then Hook proceeds to find just some random asshole backstage and says, "Hey, can you wrestle?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you want to join the ops?" "Oh, hell yeah. All right, show me how you'd get out of this move." And he puts red rum on the guy, who then proceeds to pass out instantaneously. And then we're like, "See, that's what a killer does." And I'm like, "Is it?" Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I was unconvinced. I'm like, "Where's the killer? What's going on here? You're just picking
Wait,
random people and putting them in a submission hold."
slow motion choking people out.
Yeah. So, and then they're like, you know, uh, then I think Anthony Bowens was like, "Okay, so should I give Shibata the camera back?" And Hook was like, "No, no, just keep following me." And we never went back to them for the remainder of this episode. Like,
Yeah.
so to this day, Anthony Bowens is just following Hook and Shibata around with a camera.
Legend has it that he's
Legend
still
has it.
following him to this day. So we'll see. I guess they're just gonna walk to the next place that they have a show at.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Unless they
Yeah.
want to show footage of like Bowens in the back seat of the car filming while like, Shibata and Hook are driving to the next location or something. Who knows? I'm sure we'll see them again. But that brings us to the next match that Briscoe had come out to comment for, and that is uh, Daniel Garcia of the Death Riders versus the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. And what
Bro,
did you think of this epic banger? I mean, how could it not be? It's
I
got Daniel Garcia in it.
I know that you are riffing on Daniel Garcia. However, this was a better match than I thought it was gonna be. And this is probably the best showing for Daniel Garcia that I have seen since I've been watching him in AEW. Like, no kidding. He was his basic goofy self, but he can't help that. But his actual in-ring work looked good against the Psycho Killer. It did. Um, it was still a Daniel Garcia match, right? But I mean, it was good. It was better than I've ever seen him perform before. Uh, so I'll give him his props for that. Uh, Tommaso Ciampa looked good per usual. So yeah, this was all I could say about this match is it was much better than I thought it was going to be. It was much better than I had anticipated it being.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Do you
All right.
disagree? You sound like you disagree.
No, actually, but it's like you said, it was still a Daniel Garcia match. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
mostly submissions and such. And I feel like the better parts of the action were carried largely by Ciampa. Although I did appreciate Daniel Garcia getting him in the sleeper hold in the corner and lifting him off his feet. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yep. That was good. That was
Um,
good.
and to be fair, Garcia did like target Ciampa's knee, and then it was just all attacks to the knee. Although I do remember at length you going off about how bad Daniel Garcia made the first dragon screw look.
Oh, yeah, now that yeah, you know what? You are correct. So he did a dragon screw um while they were on the ropes basically, and Tommaso's leg was on the other side of the rope. So basically Garcia's outside, um kind of like on the lip of the ring, and he grabs Tommaso Ciampa's leg and does a dragon screw that looked just so atrociously bad. And those and the reason that I harped on that for quite some time, to be honest, is because that's one of the easiest moves to make look aggressively horrible. And I mean, like you can make that look like it's just a bad day for the person you did that to. And it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to do so. And I'm not talking about actually hurting them. I'm saying making it look like you're actually hurting them. Um and he just I can't even really explain it. The leg went one way, he went the other. It was just that move was a whole Botchamania episode just by itself.
Yeah.
Um
So I think what I would say is Daniel Garcia managed to do a couple of things that looked right and not screw up too much. But that's about
well,
it. He's going to have to do a lot more to make me a fan of his.
well see,
That said,
I'll
that
give him a
said,
little more. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
said, this match I feel existed solely to provide the backdrop for Ciampa turning heel. Because what had happened was somewhere in the match, Daniel Garcia goes outside the ring and gets in Mark Briscoe's face and pie faces him. This, of course, means that Mark Briscoe, who looked, dumbfounded, although some people who are mean to Mark Briscoe would probably say more dumbfounded than normal. Thanks, Nigel. Um, this eventually leads Briscoe to get up on the ring apron, and this results in a clack where Ciampa runs into Briscoe. So it's like watching two bald moons hit each other in orbit. Um, and because he got clacked in the face, Ciampa is thrown off by this, and this allows Daniel Garcia to pick up a quick roll up pin victory and then run as fast as his little sticks could carry him away. And after that, Mark Briscoe gets into the ring attempting to apologize to Tommaso Ciampa, and they're talking back and forth for a little bit, and he puts his hand out, and Tommaso slaps it away and says, just get out of here, because he's all pissed off because of the events of the match. And so Briscoe's like, all right, man, well, think before you act because you could do something you regret. And he hops out and starts heading back up the entrance ramp, at which point FTR comes down to the ring and gets into the ring with Tommaso Ciampa. And given that Ciampa had slapped the taste out of Dax Harwood's mouth on Dynamite, we were all feeling pretty sure that this is FTR about to lay it in on Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
But Briscoe comes back and helps get Tommaso Ciampa's back, and both of them end up kind of like escaping out of the back of the ring, leaving FTR up there. And then when they get to the top of the entrance ramp, Tommaso Ciampa grabs hold of Mark Briscoe, runs him into the light board, and then while he's down, Tommaso pulls the knee pad off of his knee and then proceeds to hit him with the psycho knee. Or whatever Tommaso Ciampa's calling that particular knee. It's not a V trigger,
Yeah.
but yeah, he lays Briscoe out and then leaves him laying there. And with that, we now have the heel turn of Tommaso Ciampa. He also, if I recall, he took the bandana that Briscoe was wearing and he spit on it and then wiped his ass with it and then threw it back at him. Gross.
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 I mean, he can have that back. Like it's his now.
Yeah, yeah, you can just keep it.
Keep
So
that.
I feel like this match between him and Daniel Garcia more or less existed only to really kind of further this particular plot line so that Tommaso could not only turn, but specifically turn on Briscoe, who seemed like they were going to be friends in AEW.
Mm. Yeah, you could even mention something about their behavior with one another before all this went down.
But I am pleased to see Champa's heel turn. What did you think about Champa turning heel?
Um, I felt like it was more comfortable. I feel like Tommaso does a better heel than he does a face. Um, so it was only a matter of time as far as I was concerned.
A very short matter of time. Like this guy, a lot of stuff has happened to him, and he's only been there like not even 2 months yet. I don't think.
Yeah, no, he's been there for
Like,
like freaking 3 weeks.
yeah, so
Yeah,
he's shown up. He's become champion. He's lost a championship belt, and he's clashed with old enemies and made brand new ones. And went from being, hey, the crowd's really happy to see you, to oh, you schmuck, by turning on the ever like underdog, lovable Mark Briscoe, of course. Um,
yeah.
so I'm curious to see what he does with it. I mean, that's pretty fast for him to have done all of the things he has done. Like he is racing through the check boxes.
Yeah. If he retires at the end of the year, I'm gonna be like, what the hell?
Right? He got the whole bucket list done.
Did
Um,
everything I wanted to do.
but following that, we get a match between Swerve Strickland and Gravity. And for those who don't know, Gravity is a luchador. I believe he typically operates out of CMLL, who happens to be Bandito's brother. And what were your thoughts on this one?
You know what? I thought it was gonna be an absolute squash match, and it kind of sort of was a squash match, but not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Um, but I it was good. It was good. I it was good. You know, well, it was
It
good.
was it was a pretty lopsided squash match. Like
But it
this
was
was
brief, and it was brief, and I mean, when I said I thought it was gonna be a squash match, I thought he was gonna go in there and do like 3 or 4 moves to him and then proceed to beat him up, like beat the snot out of him after the
oh,
match.
I see. Yeah,
Uh,
and a brutalization. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those, and it was kind of just I mean, Gravity actually attempted a couple of things before he was obliterated. So it wasn't as much of a squash match as I thought it was, but it was a squash match. I mean, it's really all there is to it. And there's usually one or two in every collision or dynamite. So, and it was this one. I'm assuming that this was just here to further the storyline between Brody and Bandito and Swerve. So, for that, good use of storytelling mode.
Yeah, yeah. For my thoughts, I thought for sure this was going to be a setup where Brody King comes to exact some vengeance on Swerve,
Yeah.
especially since Gravity is Bandito's brother. But nope. As stated by you just now, this in fact was just straight up a Swerve stomping the hell out of Gravity squash match.
Yeah.
There were like two major stomps. There was one where Gravity was bent like backwards looking up at Swerve because I think he had tried to power bomb him, and Swerve like got out of it and stomped on his upper torso. And I'm like, that always looked so brutal. And it looked especially brutal with the new and improved pregnant Swerve Strickland. Um, And
No, you
then
didn't.
I think later Swerve then got up on the top and just did the regular, like normal stomp out of him. No, I did. I mean, when did Swerve get pregnant and how many months along is he?
Wow.
Because I mean, if we're being honest, we were looking at that match and we were wondering if Swerve had gotten a Brazilian butt lift.
Listen, I don't know what he's talking about, guys.
You do, and I don't know why you're trying to deny it right now. Like he looked like he was arching, like his belly was out and his butt was out, and I'm like, is he wearing heels?
Oh no.
I mean, I can only guess he's trying to do a bulk, but like it was noticeable is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure what he's doing, but like if it's a bulk, then some of those calories are going to the wrong places, I think.
Yeah. Just maybe one or two.
But I don't know. He definitely with that extra arsenal, the stomp does look most dangerous. And yeah, I was really surprised. Like, I kind of felt like this was a missed opportunity since Gravity is Bandito's brother. And like on Dynamite, Swerve had attacked Brody King and like choked him in the ring, and then Bandito came out to help. So I thought for sure this was going to be an opportunity. And so I was a little surprised when they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're gonna I'm sure still use this to further the storyline between them all. But I just thought that we were gonna see the other side whilst they were doing that. You know what I mean? Like I thought.
Yeah. And I mean, we're running out of weeks of programming with which to do it because I think it's not obviously this weekend.
I think it's next the weekend, yeah.
But I think we've got either like it's only like 1 week away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, it's next Sunday, I believe. So, you know, they're running out of time for like Brody King to kind of show off and kind of, show up into this feud because we've seen here's how it's played so far. We've seen Swerve destroy Kenny Omega. Like absolutely destroy Kenny Omega. Then we saw Swerve like attack Brody King and choke him. And here we've seen Swerve just demolish Gravity like it was, like Gravity was in his way as he was walking through the back, like it wasn't even hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, are the other side of this feud going to show up at all? Like beyond just coming and talking some smack on the mic?
Yeah, is the feud in the room with us.
can can you point to the feud? Because I mean, here's the thing. I really felt like you might need more to build this up because it did kind of come out of nowhere. Like we went immediately from Swerve being upset at Kenny Omega to Brody King, like kind of jumping in and saying, "Yeah, that's right. I'm the most dangerous man." But like, all we've seen is Swerve destroy people. So, like,
Well,
I'm
well,
not seeing a genuine challenge to that other than you running your mouth.
I mean, you're not wrong. And I'm wondering if that's the point. But then if they did that, I feel like that they would just bury Brody at that. I mean, cuz you did all this work to build him up, right? And
Yeah,
then
so that he
you're
looked
going to have
credible
him.
against like MJF and the top guys.
Right. So now is he just going to get his ass beat by Swerve and that's it? Is he just like Swerve's cannon fodder?
Oh man, I hope not. That would be
'Cause
very
that'd be real
disappointing
shitty.
because
Yeah, that'd be very
I feel like
disappointing.
that wastes Brody King. I mean, I'll be okay if Swerve does win, but I want Brody to show up and show out, like because you can still lose a match, but still prove that you deserve to be in it and be here.
You know what though? At this point, I'm not sure if I'd be okay with him just doing a good job but still losing. because I feel like he's paid his dues. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's damn good.
No, I
How many big
wholeheartedly
dudes?
agree.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do. But like, how many big dudes that we've seen are as agile, or as dominant?
Yeah.
Like he's done a great
Nope.
job with this.
I fully
Um,
agree. I kind of hope King wins here, because Swerve,
yeah,
I think is strong enough that he could survive a loss here. And there's not really anything other than the recently invented title of most dangerous in AEW on the line. But I do tend to agree with you. I think Brody needs to show up and win some big ones. Like if you're going to put him in that scene, don't turn him into LA Knight, who is just big match adjacent and never, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
yeah, exactly. And I don't want them to do that to Brody. Like,
No,
why
I
would
agree.
you? I
I
mean,
agree.
and yes, he just had gold, but it was like tag team gold. This dude deserves gold.
Yeah.
He
And
deserves,
I mean,
and if you're not gonna give him gold just yet, then you need to make and establish his dominance and keep it there. Like you could see that it's not easy. Even if you're a big dude, it's still not easy to get over in some promotions. Look at Big Bill. Like, where he at?
yeah.
So,
Well, and that's just not enough, right? Like there's plenty of big powerful dudes. Like Mark Davis is there, and he is redefining like big man. And theoretically he had a tag partner, Jake something or other, but like I haven't seen him in several weeks, so I don't know if he got injured or what.
yeah, I
It's
don't
just
know.
been the Mark Davis show, and I have had no problems with that because Mark Davis is awesome. But yeah, just being a big dude ain't enough. You got to be a big dude who wrestles their ass off, and I think Brody King is that guy for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. He is definitely that guy. And
Indeed.
I thought AEW saw that too. So I'm hoping that I'm correct there and that they keep pushing him because yeah, so far I've only seen squashing and squashing and squashing from Swerve. Like that's all he's been doing, that's great. You're establishing his dominance and yes, he is definitely the most dangerous man. I hear you. You have proven your point. So now somebody else also said that Brody is the most dangerous. We need to see that now. Unless you're gonna hold
Yeah.
it all in until the freaking actual match. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean they could go that route, but I
Yeah.
mean for a feud build like in this next week, I feel like I've got to see Brody King like one up Swerve, or it's just
Yeah.
going to look like Swerve has all the momentum and likelihood of winning coming into Revolution.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So
But
hopefully they got it. I mean, I should just chill and just have faith because the AEW's creative usually goes the correct way as of late. So,
you're right about that. I think I'm just nervous because I've been a big fan of Brody King.
yeah.
Like that dude does the crazy shit. Like he can have the match for the sickos. He's a big guy. He moves real well. Him doing a middle rope suicide dive is just insane to me.
Yeah. Keeps me up at night.
And he was very, very popular recently with Brodito. Like him and Bandito got over. So, I mean, if it's Singlesville that you're trying to push him on, I'm here for it. I think he deserves it. I think he's good enough in the ring. He's been here. He was floating in limbo after like Malachi Black ran away to the WWE, and then his tag partner, Buddy Murphy, like apparently had the ankle injury that is akin to Bianca Belair's finger injury, where they're gone forever.
Yeah.
So, he had to float around in limbo until Brodito happened. And now, if it's time for him to get a singles push, hey, he's up.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
man. I hope they get this right. Again, they've done great as of late. So maybe I just chill and just
and we
wait and
trust.
see and just
Yeah, I
trust, right? But it's kind of hard,
agree.
man. We've been hurt before.
I know, right? And it's like Brody King. I agree with you. It's the same way we felt like about and I used this example before, but it's like LA Knight, and it's like, hey, we're on the page with you, man. You just got to get that push and stop being like, big match winning adjacent. Um, which is funny because like later there's an interview segment with Jet Speed where Swerve interrupts and basically says that exact thing, but like to Kevin Knight, like you
Yeah,
can always get to the big match, but you're not ever able to finish it off. And I'm
yeah.
sitting there thinking, well, Kevin Knight has only been getting like this big singles push for a little while, and so I think it's a bit early to say something like that to him, but it is absolutely valid to say to Brody King
Yeah, unless he's trying to create a stable or something, and he's trying to steal Kevin away from Jet Set.
from Speedball. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But I tell you what, I'm super into it, or I wouldn't have this much like concern for how you're handling Brody and what might happen. And you're right, we should just trust the process because they've been freaking killing it. So I guess we'll wait and see. I'm just real curious to see which direction they go with it. And thus far, I do think that this feud with Swerve has been a little lopsided. Um, That said, we after that match, which was decisively won by Swerve, both with a Swerve stomp and a house call to just like eliminate gravity. Like if you believed in gravity as a force in physics, it's over. It's done. Gravity is not true. Um we're taken backstage where Chris Statlander is sitting on like some steps and says something like, I'll only speak when it's necessary, and now I think it's necessary. And she says at Revolution, she wants to go to battle not in a single pinfall because Tekla's won one, she's won one. So we need something more decisive. So we're going to go for a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW Women's Championship. And she goes on to say that Tekla's killing is coming twice. And I'm like, that's not how killing works. But all right.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I guess it
following,
could,
I
but
mean, how? Like one of them's killing and the other's just desecrating the body. I mean, that's really how that works. Um, But after that, Tekla decides to respond to Chris Statlander, and she does so by making her way out on the entrance ramp and walking all the way to the ring, cutting the promo the entire time. And I think she did a really good job here because there was a lot that she was trying to say, and she didn't stumble over any of it. And she had to walk all the way down and get in the ring and just maintain cadence the whole time and then be crazy at the very end. And she nailed it. Um, she starts out initially saying to Stadlander, since when does a challenger get to make the match, get to make the rules? But then she amends that and says, on second thought, what in the hell makes Statlander think that she can beat Tekla once, let alone twice? Um, and I think she said, Statlander wears sunglasses because she can't look Tekla in the eye. She wears leather to be more like Tekla. And Tekla took out Thunder Rosa, but that was the one thing that Statlander got right, and she should take her own advice and be careful when dealing with Tekla. Then she sort of got up on the top rope and bent backwards, like hanging off of it, which was insane. And she said, everything you're afraid of is everything I am. And I was just like, wow, Tekla, you supreme edge lord. That was really well done. And I was impressed.
such an edge lord. But yeah, impressive edge lording.
And then, if you'd like, if you want to speak to the segment, because I know you found it actually really pretty endearing, is the segment with Renee Paquette and Moxley.
Well, and not just here
Wrestle Bubble.
notes. Yeah, not in our notes here, but not just here, but like on the interwebs. I found out that this was like I think this is a show that Rennie Pickett, and this was a preview of it.
Okay. So this wasn't just a vignette of Mox and Renee. This was a preview of a show she does separately.
Right. I think it's like
Oh, okay.
close up with Renee Paquette. You know her actual name,
Oh,
not Renee Paku, okay, or whatever we call her. We call her many names. But it's because she's adorable.
we call her Rennie Packet and Ketchup Packet and all
Yeah,
other kinds of things. Yeah, because she's adorable.
yeah.
She's like AEW's kitten with a microphone.
It's true. It's true. Which is why we don't like when people are mean to her.
No, no,
Like,
never ever do
no,
anything to Renee Packet.
mm-mm,
Not just
no,
because
don't do
Moxley
it.
and all of the Death Riders will murder you, but like everyone else will too.
Yeah, no, you stop it. Cut it out. But yeah, it was just like they just showed those two talking, and Moxley trying to say something, and her basically summing up what he's trying to say for him. And it was, I mean, she pretty much said it, said what he was saying, but then he expressed the more emotional side of what she said. So it was really nice to watch those two communicate with each other. It always makes her appear much more, I don't know, relaxing. Like I feel like she'd probably be a great therapist. Um and it
Yeah,
makes
I can
him a
see
bit
that.
more human. And I'm not saying that he's like an animal, but I usually think of wrestlers in a completely, like, I think of them differently. And so watching him having a conversation with someone that I know he loves, he's very intimate with, it breaks down who he is, not just as a wrestler but as a person. So it was really good to see that dynamic between those two.
Yeah, I think we got to see a little bit of Moxley the man, not just Moxley the pro wrestling character.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
that's
I
nice.
agree. Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like Moxley was trying to say you need opponents like Takeshita, and then he faltered. He was like, I don't want to say it's because I'm scared of him because I'm not. And Renee just very quickly like says he pushes you, and then Moxley almost like he didn't hear that, just continues to say, you know, uh, he realizes that Takeshita can beat him, but that's not happening, and Moxley can't really see it any other way, and it was pretty adorable. Like she cut to the heart of it so quick that I think Mox didn't notice it.
Yeah. I think he noticed it, but I think, like, again, I think she cut to the heart of it, and he expressed what basically fueled that emotion that got to the heart. So I could see, that's why I said I think he did more of an emotional explanation um that people could understand, and she basically summed up what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of gives you this vibe that like she gets Moxley probably better than Moxley even gets
Right.
himself sometimes.
Yes.
And in some ways, like I feel like she's the calming presence to his raw nerve of a human being. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, it was
Yeah,
cute
and
to see
it's
him like that.
yeah, and if you're a person like that, I think then someone like that is good to have. It's good to have around. Good energy.
True facts.
So yeah, that was nice. It was romantical.
It was actually though, like not in the kissy kissy way, but in the you can see how these two people connected and how they complement each other kind of way.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Well, following that endearing moment, we are brought to the $200,000 four-way tag match, and this was the one that was announced on Dynamite. That in any other promotion would just be like mid card guys, and I guess you could make the case that that's what's going on here too. But
Yeah, I
like these are
wouldn't.
all such good. They're all such good teams in different ways. It's Private Party who has just returned, so we're excited to see how they perform, right? Because it had been over a year. And then you've got the Outrunners who are they're just a treat. And more to the point, they came out with Dalton Castle who got on commentary, which just added to the fun of this match.
Dalton Castle is the type of person that I wish there was a plushie of.
I think he would. I think he did great on the commentary. Like he is a character in and of himself.
Oh my god! And when you squeeze the plushie, it says something that he would say.
I
Ah,
could
that'd
dig
be
it.
amazing. AEW,
But
get to it.
then you have LFI, who are just the brutal members of this particular match, and it's Rush and Drilistico, and both of these guys are super dominant. I think they were kind of your pick because of how dominant they were to maybe pick up the win in this match. And then you've got the swirl, which is Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. And so in this massive $200,000 four-way tag match, what were your thoughts?
I'm gonna tell you, I thought LFI was the only team in the match for most for most of it. They were freaking everywhere, just kicking all the ass.
Yeah,
Um,
Roosh in particular. Roosh is so brutal.
yeah, Roosh is definitely brutal. I gotta give them their props. So they looked good. I also gotta give props to the Outrunners. Hot diggity damn! I haven't seen them in a match in AEW like on television in quite a while, but it looks like they have made some improvements. They were clean
Yeah,
as a whistle, man, sharp.
yeah.
They looked really good.
And somehow
Um,
Turbo Floyd continues to be more jacked every time I see him.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. He just keeps eating different versions of himself, and then coming back swole as hell. So how whatever works, good on you. The only issue, the only issue that I have with anyone in this match, Private Party looked good. They did look great, although they did get beat up a lot. Everybody kept focusing most of their attacks on them. Um, which should have let me know then who was gonna win this. Because Josh called it, he had it correct. Um, the Outrunners, like I said, looked fantastic. LFI were dominant as shit. The only problem I had was the chocolate in the swirl.
Yeah.
Uh Lee Johnson didn't look that great. Um, and
Hmm.
I'm not saying that to pick on him. I'm not saying that to talk. I'm not because I'm not gonna talk shit about him. I'm just saying it was not a very strong showing, and I haven't seen a strong showing from him yet. To be perfectly honest, Blake Chris,
No, I want to
Christian.
do that too, but it's just Christian.
Oh, Blake Christian, yeah. Okay,
Yep.
Blake Christian. It is freaking good. My man goes out there. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of the tag team from the Wyatt Six. Gacy and Dex.
Oh, yeah,
Where
yeah. Gacy and Loomis. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, where Gacy is fucking wrestling his ass off. He looks great. He doesn't have the look, but what he doesn't have in his look, he's got in his in ring work. That dude goes out there and just wrestles like he's hungry for it. And then he's got Loomis, which I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but he 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 half asses most of the stuff I see him doing. If he doesn't half ass it, it's he kind of flubs it. And I've seen him do this more than once. I thought the first time I saw him, I was like, oh, maybe it's nerves. Which even with that, I'm like, what you mean it's nerves, man? You've been doing this for some time now, though. But you know, didn't look too good, and it hasn't really looked that impressive since. I feel the same way about Lee Johnson. I'm not saying that he flubs all his moves, although I think I did see a flub there.
Yeah, the poison
Um,
run did not go well for him.
yeah, didn't go well. And thank you. Yeah, it was the Poison Rana. So honestly, out of all of them, I think that was the biggest. Like, ooh, what is he trying to do? In that match. Other than that, it was not boring at all. It was high octane from beginning to end. Uh, and everybody looked fantastic except for Lee Johnson, who stood out for not looking very fantastic. What did you think?
My sentiments echo yours quite a lot.
Yeah.
Really, I I'll address Lee Johnson first, since that's kind of your last talking point. So I'll make it my first one. Um, when he went and did the poison Rana, he basically collapsed in on himself, like landed on his own shoulders and head, and so it just didn't look well. And that's not the first time, and we haven't seen him in a lot of matches, and this is part of the problem. The little bit we have seen, he's
Yeah.
either been clumsy, or the spot looks like it's either botched or it's just shy of botched because it's just clumsily done. I really do think Lee Johnson needs to improve his in-ring work if he's going to get in the ring where the best wrestle, and that's just the bottom line. That's as much as I'll say on that. I hope
Yeah.
he improves. His partner Blake Christian is freaking insanely good. And if it is just nerves, man, catch a breath. I know it can be hard, like if you're catching criticism while you're nervous, to then be less nervous, but like that's where you're just going to have to find that extra gear and step
Yeah.
up,
Yep.
because there's nothing else for it. I mean, AEW seems to be trying to whittle it down to being wrestlers who really can kill it in ring, and so you're going to have to be on that level if you want to stay being shown on AEW television. At least that's how it looks to me. And I'll mention that more later when we get to like the new configuration of Megabad and the Hasta La Vista Penelope. Um, but otherwise, every team in this match I thought looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I did predict that Private Party were going to win this when we were talking about who do you have winning this match, and I said first it's because they just came back, right, and
Yeah.
second because for like the entire first half of the match, when you were pointing out that like LFI was looking super dominant, a big part of that was them kicking the shit out of Private Party, so they signaled like this whole likely underdog comeback. And it turns out I was correct.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Private Party does end up picking up the win. Um, I want to say, what did they do? I want to say Isaiah Cassidy first jumps out of the corner and hits Lee Johnson with his own destroyer. And then he did like this tag, like this team neck breaker between him and Quinn, like where Quinn double stomps him out of a neck breaker pose.
Yeah.
And then Quinn put Johnson up on his shoulders, and Cassidy came off the top with like a doomsday cutter that looked insane. And that was enough for them to pick up the 3 count and win. And they ended up with a $200,000 prize. So they celebrated with a big bag of cash. There was this one funny spot at the very end where I want to say Isaiah was holding like a stack of the cash, and a fan grabbed it from him. And so he had to like trick the fan into not paying attention so he could snag it back, and then he moved away from the fans. So it was kind of funny, at least to me. When I was watching, I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to get away from them so they don't steal
Yeah.
your money." But yeah, it was a nice win for Private Party, and I really liked the Tower of Doom or Doomsday Cutter that they did. That thing was sick looking.
Yeah. It was. It
Um,
was pretty nice. Pretty sweet.
but yeah, just a really good match where more or less everyone in the match, got a chance to show their stuff and look good. The Outrunners looked good. LFI looked just dominant and violent. The Swirl, for the most part, looked good, and Private Party looked good. So, and this is kind of the wheelhouse of AEW, right? These big multi-man matches, and this was
Yeah.
another example of that. So it was a nice match. It was really fun. And again, I really enjoyed Dalton Castle kind of narrating all of it, like at commentary. It was a good time. I think Dalton Castle hanging out with the Outrunners is just comedy gold.
I agree. Agree. As long as he
Yeah,
does not start talking about anybody's biceps or
there
uh
was that part where he talked about oiling up every inch of the Outrunners, and we were like,
no.
um.
No, stop it, please. I was like, okay, Dalton. Okay, Dalton.
All
Okay.
right, yeah, yeah, too much TMI. But following that big match, we're taken backstage where Lexi Nair is having a chat with Jet Speed, and I want to. She asks Knight about losing two title matches on Dynamite. First, his title match with MJF, and then later the one with the Trios Championships.
Yeah.
And and Kevin Knight said, he still felt pretty good about like how he went with MJF and had him looking up at the lights for 13 seconds, which was accurate. But I think the referee was out of commission, so it couldn't be
Was
counted.
also looking up at the lights.
Yeah, he was also looking up at the lights. So next time you get MJF looking up at the lights, make sure the referee is not also looking up at the lights, and you might win the belt. But he did say he felt bad about losing the triples titles. At which point Bailey cuts him off and says, "No, no, we as a team lost." And he goes on to say that they appreciated Hangman Adam Page's help, and his situation with MJF did complicate things a bit, but now they're going to team up with Mystico to try and win back the AEW World Trios titles from the Don Callis family. And it was at this moment that I want to say Nair asked Bailey real quick about, like, are you ready to hold two championships? Because he's going to face the protostar Kyle Fletcher. And he just gets started talking about how, he's beaten Fletcher, he can do it again, and he's ready to be a double champion and take that pretty pink TNT championship. But then Swerve comes in and says, well, then why didn't he? Pointing at Kevin Knight and basically implying, why didn't Kevin Knight take the championship when he had the chance? And Swerve walks up, and Prince Nana pretty much tells Lexi to leave, so she doesn't get hurt, I guess. And Swerve asks Mike Bailey why Knight didn't know what it took to win. And he turned to Knight and asks how every time Knight seems to have a foot on the neck of his opponent, he doesn't have the ability to apply the pressure. And he goes on to say to Knight, if he wants to compete amongst killers, he's got to become a killer. And I think my response to that was, Swerve part of the ops? Like, he sounds just like Hook right now.
Yeah, you ops right now?
Like, that could
Sound
make for
pretty
a very
oppy.
nasty group, the ops, if you were to recruit Swerve. But I think if Hook tried to recruit Swerve, Swerve would be the new leader of the ops.
Yeah, exactly.
After that, we are taken to a earlier in the day interview where Renee Paquette tried to get a word with the World Tag Team Champion, the Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Babes of Wrath. But before she can really ask them anything, Megan Bain and Lena Cross, Megabad, immediately attack them and throw them all around the backstage, smashing them into stuff, punching them. And while the Babes did their best to fight them off, it wasn't until security came out that Bain and Cross, sort of backed off and left the champions laying. And that sort of sets us up for the next tag team match, which is, I don't know if they're still called Mega Bad or not. Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
kind of
know.
hoping they're not, but since I don't have an easier shorthand, it's basically Mega Bad, Megan Bain, and Lena Cross now. And man, Lena Cross is one big bitch. Jesus Christ,
Huh.
she's huge. Versus
Yeah.
the Timeless Love Bombs. And when we saw this, like, the first thing we both said is, oh man, the Timeless Love Bombs are going to get destroyed. So,
Yep.
what did you think of this match?
I thought that, well, first of all, Lena Cross has like a wingspan of an albatross. Um,
Yeah, seriously, her arms are super long.
she's ginormous. But I mean, Megan Bain is no better. Like Megan is huge. Um, I thought this match, I felt like it was kind of a done deal the second I saw who was coming out. No disrespect to Tony Storm. Uh, a little respect to, I mean, little disrespect to Mina Shirakawa, but just a scope, just a tad bitty. Um, but I was here mainly to watch Megan and Lena together, and mostly Lena to see what she was gonna do, because we've seen Megan and we know Megan can bring it. We've seen Mina, we've seen Tony. We know what all these chicks can do. We've not seen Lena. I think we've seen her one time well over a year ago. So this is like a first time for us at this point, and I was
Yeah,
somewhat
yeah.
impressed. She looks pretty, like she does some gross stuff in the ring, and she, you said she reminded you a lot of what was it?
Kevin
Kevin
Nash.
Nash? Yeah,
Yeah.
with a lot of her moves. And maybe that's somebody that she studied when she was a kid. But yeah, she looked great. Um and you know what? I'm gonna say everybody looked great. And I give Mina a lot of shit, but it's because I'm really not a fan of her particular move set. Um but what she does well. I like, honestly. So I can't give
Yeah.
her any grief for that. But all in all, this I thought this was a pretty damn good match. In the sense that we were here to see um the mega bitches and see how they looked against a particularly dominant uh tag team group in the female division. Like they're pretty up there. So it
Yeah,
was
Tony
really
Storm is never a joke.
right. Yeah, and they have Tony and Mina, built pretty high. Like, so this is a pretty solid win for the mega bitches, or whatever they're called, mega bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, I thought this was a pretty good match, and I thought, I mean, for what it was, which is really just an introduction to this particular version of the mega bad. Um, and Lena Cross, I think, did the damn thing. So, what'd you think?
Uh, two things to start.
Hmm.
The first thing, size and height are so relative. Um, Lena Cross on television looks like she is ginormous. You know how tall she is?
Uh oh, wow.
6 foot.
Oh wow, really?
You know how tall
Well,
Megan Bain is billed as?
how tall?
5'11". That means the other
Oh
women are like super short for them to look so tall.
man, her wingspan is still pretty fucking.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, and 6 foot is tall for a woman to be
Yeah,
sure. Um, so she's definitely a tall woman, but like objectively relative to heights, like she looks like when she's in that ring, like she should be like 6'5". You know what I mean? Like, or seven
yeah,
foot,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, 6 foot. But I mean, there's lots of big women that are in that height range. Like
Yeah.
that is. Oh man, I'm going blank on her, but I'm not like other girls, you know who I'm talking about?
Nia,
With the
Nia
Nia
Jax.
Jax. Thank you.
Yeah,
There we go. Couldn't for the life of me get to that, which is surprising. But yeah, Nia Jax is like 6 foot tall.
yeah.
So there's that. The other thing was, man, it's not even a week, and they got Penelope instantly replaced by Lena Cross, almost as if that was the intended plan all along. All the talking heads on the internet were like, "Oh no, Penelope got injured. What will they do?" And I'm like, it's a bit convenient that she gets injured right when Lena Cross is on the scene to fill in, don't you think? So I think this was planned all along, and that Penelope probably has a kayfabe quote unquote injury so that she can be reintroduced as a singles competitor later and stop holding back Megan Bain. Um, Now that Bane has a partner that can actually, contribute, and it's not just Megan Bane having, handicap matches until she finally tags in Penelope for the final move, we can actually have some good matches here. Um, and I felt like Cross and Bane looked really great here, as did the Timeless Love Bombs. I tend to agree with you for the most part about Mina. Like, whether you like what she does or not, for the most part, she does it well. Although I will caveat that with her top rope sling blade still never looks right. Like, we always are like, what was that? I think it was a sling
Yeah,
blade.
that's true.
Um, And now I feel a little weird continuously saying Lena is one tall big bitch, but like she is. Like 6 foot is still tall. And she definitely has that effect when you are obviously dealing with women that are like 5'2" and 5'4" in the ring.
Yeah.
Um and I did reiterate that she was giving me Kevin Nash vibes, especially when she did the back elbow into the turnbuckle. Kevin Nash was big time on the back elbow in the turnbuckle, the hip checks in the turnbuckle, like where would drive his knee and hip into the opponent. And she even did like a corner choke, although Kevin Nash would do the corner choke like with the opponent standing, um, with the foot choke. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she also hit that massive side slam, which was a move that Kevin Nash was big on. Although I don't think he did several 360-degree turns prior to hitting it, it still evoked that same kind of an idea.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like somebody told Lena, "Hey, go look at like old, WCW stuff to put your shit together," because like I really felt that Kevin Nash vibe until we got to the end where she then hit a jackhammer, and I'm like, man, she was watching WCW stuff from the Nitro days, the Monday Night Wars, and I felt like her jackhammer looked good. She ends up hitting the jackhammer on Mina Shirakawa to pick up the 1, 2, 3, and so this is a huge win for the new Mega Bad. I don't know if they're still called that or not, but hey,
Yeah.
until I hear different, that's what I'm gonna go with. Um, and I'll be honest, I'm excited to see what these two can do and what impact they can make in the like rapidly growing women's tag division in AEW. Like this is a big tag team for the women. This is a lot like either the Outsiders or the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah. 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 I'm here for it. Let's
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
they can
So,
do.
also during that match, and part of how they had the time to obliterate Mina Shirakawa was that Marina Shafir came out and behind the referee's back grabs hold of Tony Storm, pulls her off the apron, and looks like she got her in the mother's milk hold and then rolled under the ring with her. So, like that effectively took Tony out of the finish of the match. Um, but we'll definitely hear more from Tony about how she feels about Marina Shafir. After that match, we get Mark Briscoe um, responding uh, to the betrayal of Tommaso Ciampa and issuing a challenge to him and FTR. Um, he initially says something felt off about Ciampa since he came back to AEW until tonight. Ciampa back jumping him.
Yeah. Back jumping. Don't forget it.
He's like, that's the Ciampa that Briscoe remembered. And Briscoe's like, shame on me for letting my guard down, but shame on Ciampa for being a coward and aligning himself with scumbags like FTR. Who used to be great rivals of the Briscoes, but now, they're just schmucks. Um, but he went on to say that in order to even up the odds a bit, since it's Ciampa and FTR versus just Mark Briscoe, he got on the phone with another great set of rivals. So on this Wednesday's Dynamite, it's going to be Ciampa and FTR versus Dem Bucks. And I'm like, so here for that. I'm
Yep.
so here for that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited.
Dim Bucks. I'm just happy already just hearing that. I know what that combo is, and I'm so here for it. It's gonna be insanity. And Tommaso Ciampa will get to have a tag team partner that doesn't completely suck.
Ooh. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Um After that, we get a trios match. The dogs, uh formerly the War Dogs, but now just the dogs, which is Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, and Dave Finley, who just recently debuted, versus, and if you've never heard of these people, well, you're in good company. Cosmo Orion, uh, Gimo Kaminari, and Jaden Monroe. or as you might know them, the local talents already in the ring. What did you think of this match?
Um, this was just a match to introduce the trios team of the dogs. And namely, uh, David Finlay, and they looked pretty freaking dominant. Aside from the goofy stuff that Gabe does, where he's crawling on all fours or uh staring at people while they get slammed on the I don't know. He's weird. But aside from that, um, they all looked the in ring work was gross. They looked fantastic. And this was very short. This was just hey, we're gonna come in here and destroy these guys, and then destroy them a little bit more, and pick that one up, and let's destroy him a couple more times. Pretty much, that was it. And I was there for it, and it was amazing. What did you think?
I exactly the same. I feel the
Yeah,
exact same. This was a display with relatively little campiness or goofy bullshit of the dogs just showing up and showing out and dominating. And I feel like that was exactly what they needed.
yeah,
Um, we got to see some of the top moves from each of the three members of the dogs. Connor's got to show off his spear, which is nasty. He's got a great spear. He also then later did like this really elevated DDT that I thought looked fantastic and that they kept calling a brainbuster. Um, then from Finley, we got to see just this like power bomb straight to hell on his opponent. Like he threw him so hard into the mat. And I want to say we also saw like this very nasty like vertical suplex into almost like a go to sleep knee from Finley. And from Gabe Kidd, we got to see a big ass pile driver. And I remember it was funny because Shivani called it a tombstone pile driver, and it super wasn't. It was a sit out pile driver, but you know, Shivani's new. We'll give him a pass. But yeah, they just utterly destroyed their opponents while showing off some of their top moves. And this was the kind of like just dominant display and exhibition that I feel the dogs needed because some of their stuff was coming off super goofy and it was making it hard to take them seriously. And that's not a good spot you want to be on.
yeah,
And I think this course corrected for them, and I'm here for it. Like I want the dogs to be like a force to be reckoned with, not just like a really goofy mental, you know, British guy and like a wannabe cowboy. Like you're going to have to make me take you seriously by showing me how you destroy people in the ring.
yeah. e- Exactly that.
So, while it was an absolute squash, I feel like it was the right call and the right direction for the dogs, and it
Yep.
was good. Um, and I look forward to seeing them destroy more people in a similar fashion, but maybe in a slightly longer match. Um, Following that ass whooping, we get Timeless Tony Storm coming out to speak to Marina Shafir, who she would like to have a match with at Revolution. And she steps out and she says, Marina, all you do is talk about competition. Why is it that the only one with a set of ovaries to fight alone amongst the Death Riders is John Bloody Moxley? And I fell out. I was like,
Yeah.
Moxley's the only one with a set of ovaries. Ah, you brilliant bitch. And so she ends up challenging Marina Shafir to a match where everyone's banned from ringside and it can just be one on one, just her and Marina. And she said, following that up, she would like her Women's World Championship back. Chin up, tits out, and I'll see you and only you at Revolution. And I was like, but what about watch for the shoe?
No, no, no shoe watching.
No shoe watching? Oh, man.
No.
But that should be a hellacious match. Then after that, we got a brief video package of CMLL's new Women's World Champion, Persephone, who won the belt off of Mercedes Monet. So if we were wondering where Mercedes was, she's off losing all 84 of the belts that she won last year. And I'm okay with her losing to Persephone. I haven't seen a lot of her, but the bit I have seen, I have like I want to see more. Like she looks like she has potential.
Yeah.
In one of the video clips, she looks like she did this tremendous crucifix power bomb, and I was like, "Oh, I'm here for all of that." So we
Yep.
find out, I think, that we will see Persephone in a TBS Championship match against Willow Nightingale on Dynamite this coming Wednesday, and I'm here for it. Um, I'm not sure if I think Persephone is going to pick up the win against Willow, but it is a nice chance to get to see her wrestle.
Yep.
And that brings us to match 7 of the night. How they pull off 7 matches in 2 hours is just miraculous to me when other companies in 3 hours give us 4. Um, but I love it, and AEW don't ever change. That said, this is now our main event, and it's the New Japan World TV Champion, the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita of the Don Callis family, at least for now. There's tensions there. And he is going against the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, the biggest Swiss luchador you ever did see, Claudio Castagnoli of the Death Riders. And what were your thoughts on this main event?
Probably the best match of the night. Um, I knew that it was gonna be a banger. Like, I mean, I knew it's
I
got
mean,
it's
how
got
could it not?
exactly. It's got Takeshita and it's got Castagnoli. So yeah, it was gonna be some dramatic shit. And it ended up being just that. Uh, and they looked really good together. I know I say that a lot, but they did. They actually did. Um, so yeah, this match, I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. They again, this is another one that not only was here for the actual match, but for the story.
Yeah.
Um, and there are a couple of stories going on here with Takeshita and also with the Don Callis family. And then there's some stuff going on with Takeshita and the Death Riders. Um, a lot of times he just kept focusing on John Moxley, who I believe was on commentary.
Yeah, Mox was on commentary, and Shafir was at ringside, and I think that was it for the Death Riders that were there with Castagnoli.
Yeah. Oh, and Shafir did actually answer. She did respond to Tony's challenge, which was essentially she said something along the lines of she's been like waiting for this moment, or so according to Moxley, she's been waiting for this moment. But she said something along the lines of being patient. She'll get to, like, she agrees to the match, but she's got some other stuff that she's got to take care of before she has the match. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like a week away. So all
Yeah.
she has to do is wait until the day of the match.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to go get her hair and nails did and all
Yeah,
other kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Cool. Yeah, and she can do that. She has about a week to do that. So
She does. She does. But she's patient, you see.
yeah, I mean, cuz she only has to wait that week.
It's
Uh
true.
so yeah. Uh sure, Shafir. Sure. But back to the match. Um excuse me. There was a lot of great storytelling there. Uh Takeshita, I honestly thought that there would be an issue with Takeshita, um, like focusing because he just seemed to be or winning. Like I'm like you're not gonna win this match, bro, if you keep stopping everything you're doing and taking a look at Moxley like, yeah, that could be you, buddy. Like it's like Takeshita. Can we focus? I'm not even sure it's about Moxley at this point. I think you want. I think you got some unresolved shit for Okada, and you're just channeling this shit to Moxley at this point. Like you got issues, several issues that you need to take care of, my dude, my dude. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He's got a lot going on. He's a busy guy.
he's got a lot on his plate. No, but this was a great main event. Um, and I mean, I can't. I used to be real hard on Castagnoli, but ever since he's come to AEW, I've kind of backed off because he's been doing fantastic. I guess he still does those freaking European uppercuts.
European uppercuts. Yeah,
He still does them, but it's not like 60 in a row.
yeah, yeah.
Like that one freaking match that just pets my
Yeah,
peeve.
like elimination chamber that he was in. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and to be fair, like you were hard on Claudio when he deserved to be judged harshly. Since he's been
yeah,
in AEW, he's actually been wrestling and wrestling up. Like he's improved his wrestling.
yeah. So I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. This was a really good showing for both men involved, and yeah, I thought it was a great main event. What did you think?
I think that this match and its outcome was something that we kind of predicted.
Yeah,
You had said recently, I think after we watched Dynamite, that Shikeshita we haven't seen in singles matches as much as Mox lately, and I said, okay, well let's watch. He'll probably have a singles match soon and win it in order to show him off, and that was this. That is pretty much exactly what happened. But Claudio didn't go down easily, to be
no,
sure. These two really brought it to one another for, I want to say, 95% of the match. And then it was in the tail end of it that Claudio decides to be a Death Rider and go get chairs and then try and sneak his championship belt into the ring to do some shady shit. But out comes Hechicero of the Don Callis family to stop that crap. And this ultimately leads to Takeshita. I want to say he smashes. Um, I want to say he smashes Claudio with like a power drive knee. Um, and then he picks up Castagnoli for a very like no fucking around, like this is getting done, raging fire to pick up the win. And then after the match, Takeshita is like, trying to get in Moxley's face, and Moxley's like, "Oh, you want to talk some shit?" So he stands up and does his cartoon like bowed out posture, and Takeshita and Moxley are like yelling at each other when Hechicero just nails Moxley from behind, and then Claudio nails Takeshita, and it just turns into a brawl between the Takeshita, Moxley, the Death Riders, and the Don Callis family to close the show.
fantastical.
Oh, and the other kind of story detail that is important here is that during that match, it became apparent that Claudio had significantly worked Takeshita's left arm, and that sort of presents this idea. It puts this little cloud of doubt about Takeshita being able to win at Revolution against Moxley because he may be coming into it injured on the left arm. And
Yeah,
I hope that's not the case because I kind of want Takeshita to win here at Revolution.
yeah,
But we shall see. The telegraphing thus far is that Takeshita is now injured. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But like you pointed out, Takeshita's got his finger in a lot of pots. So
yeah.
I'm kind of predicting he does end up picking up the win here, but then he severs from the Don Callis family because, Kyle Fletcher and Okada, especially Okada, have been like, "Oh, we're champions," and Takeshita's not. He is, but he's a New Japan champion, and so I guess he needs to get an AEW championship in order for them to take him seriously. And then I want him to kick the crap out of Okada and bail on the Don Callis family. Like, just obliterate Okada. Like, smear him into paste and take his belt. And, You know what I mean? Like that's the buildup
Yeah,
thus far, and Okada's been such a little snarky troll to Takeshita that I'm like all for Takeshita just obliterating Okada.
yeah, that'd be
So
nice.
we'll have to see how that plays out. But they've definitely got my interest. Like you said, Takeshita's like currently involved in several different story arcs, and I don't know which one they're going to tackle first. So we shall see. That said, that brings us to the end of this episode of AEW Collision. And what was your review of AEW Collision?
I thought it was pretty daggum amazing. Um, I have to say, was it as good as Dynamite? Yeah, actually, it was. It was. I was just about to ask whether or not it was as good as Dynamite, but it was. And I'm sorry, but there's a cat attacking me right now.
Oh no.
I'm being attacked. I'm trying to stop him from trying to bite the mic, so please forgive me. Um, but no, don't do that. But I thought this was pretty damn exciting. They're doing a great job for building up this PLE coming up. Like, I mean, I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? They have done a fantastic job of hyping it up. So, with that in mind, I think I would give this one what did I give? Dynamite 8.5? I think I gave
I
it an
believe so.
8.5.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give this one an 8. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think I'm gonna give it an 8. Maybe not as fantastic as Dynamite, but still top tier. Absolutely no questions asked.
Nice. Nice. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go a different direction with it. I felt like this episode was completely mid. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, well,
This
I was
no,
like,
I'm I'm
what?
joking. I'm just kidding. No, this was a super
Oh
solid and highly enjoyable episode with excellent matches and more build up for Evolution. I just wanted to mess with you a little bit. Sounds like I succeeded.
my gosh.
Um, we also get Ciampa's heel turn on Briscoe, which was
Yeah,
fantastic, and that, of course, sets up the match. Oh, I'm so excited for it! FTR and Ciampa versus Dim Bucks. Um,
yeah,
all told, I'm gonna go. This was an easy 8.0. AEW Collision was absolutely top tier, for
yeah.
sure. All joking aside.
Okay. All right. You
All
should
right.
have seen my face.
I bet you were like, wait, what? How?
I was like, what? And then I got slapped with the cattail, brought me back to
Oh
reality.
no. Just everything's going awry. But all of that aside, I want to thank everyone who listened to this episode. That's been our review of AEW Collision, and I invite you to join us for our next episode, which should be AEW Dynamite coming up this Wednesday. And until then, I don't think there's much for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest wrestling news and shows. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, as well as our YouTube channel, where we upload all of our episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and X for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.